This episode is brought to you by AdCentricity, leaders in location-based digital media management. Visit them at www.adcentricity.com. Welcome to This Week in Location-Based Marketing. On today's show, will you buy toothpaste from a mobile ad? JCPenney's bold cash register bet, forget gumballs, man. Give me apps with Razorfish. Plus, is Square really worth $3.5 billion? All this, our usual funding and M&A activity, our resource of the week, and our special guest, Rob and Asif. Wait, what? Welcome, everybody. This is episode number 88 of This Week in Location-Based Marketing. We're recording this live between Asif and I on July 29th, 2012, day 2 of the Summer Olympic Games in London. Canada won their first medal today. Asif, welcome, buddy. Back from your vacation.
Fun. Good to be back from holiday. Yeah. Asif Khan, Location-Based Marketing Association. As usual, find us at the LBMA on the Twitter and the .com.
Nice.
Yeah, good to be back.
Well, you know, we didn't even talk about this in our pre-show, but you know, we were so consumed by the stories that we've got here. The stories we've got, the special guest is us, which is weird, and we got some funding and M&A activity and a resource of the week. But I'd be remiss if we didn't talk for a second about the Olympics. And man, it's the Olympics. We are, and this is not the Olympics about anything other than the social game, is it, right now? Social and location is dominating the Olympics. They got like Ryan Seacrest out there talking about, hey, on Twitter they said this, and on Facebook they said this, and what is going on?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's you know, this is a probably the first games that is everything is social, everything is being tracked. We talked a while ago on a couple of episodes, several episodes, we talked about, you know, what Visa was doing around location-based marketing in the games. We talked about what Coke's doing, McDonald's, all these, you know, sort of Olympic sponsors are all over mobile and location-based technology during the games to engage fans, to engage, you know, the athletes, to engage everybody. So it's definitely a big part of the games this year. You
know, I'm just looking it up because I got this great email from Banjo. And what they've done is they've done an Olympic swap, which basically allows you to pretend or swap places and be in London to kind of understand. If you use Banjo, it's about social awareness about what's going on around you and understanding you know, the activity around you as well as who's around you. So they've got this really neat feature which allows you to push basically hit a button and transport you to London and see what's going on around London at the same time. It's pretty cool. Right. I think a lot of
it's pretty cool.
A lot of companies are doing this right now, which is to jump on the Olympic bandwagon. But I love it, and every single station has their own social media or mobile correspondent. It's pretty funny to watch because it's like Phelps said congratulations to the guy who won. Like, way to go. Such a good guy. Anyway, I think we'll have more as we go along.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Well, at least Phelps got a silver medal today.
Oh, he did. Yeah. So he didn't go home sucky face, and that's a pretty remarkable story. But so when you, I think we got to keep an eye out on this thing for the stories, obviously, as they come up this week around what's going on in the Olympics around location and mobile. But pretty cool. This is a different kind of Olympics. Last Olympics, and even in Vancouver, I don't think it had this kind of social and mobile and location flair to it. So this is really the very first wide open. And so let's jump into this. Before we get into our stories, what is going on with the Location-Based Marketing Association? I know that it's in the dog days of summer, but there must be something happening. There must be something that we can promote.
Yeah, you know, we don't have any pure LBMA events going on during the summer months, but there's certainly lots of other conferences and things happening that we're partnered on and we're involved in, from whether it's speaking or promoting or getting our members involved in. So I guess the one that comes to mind is just about a week away now, and that is the Retail Customer Experience Summit. That's in Chicago. And it's coming up really quickly. So the dates for that are the 6th to the 8th of August, so August 6th to 8th, Hotel Saks in Chicago. If you're in the retail world, you should be at this conference. So this, is a exploration of all things retail, how mobile technology is intersecting with it, social media, and there's sort of pure retail things that, aren't technology oriented, around like workforce management and, food, nutrition issues and other things too. But, the retail community will be gathering. So there you go.
Is when did you say that? August 6th to 8th, 2012 in Chicago? Hotel sales?
Yes, August 6th to 8th. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I have nothing to push except for some massive changes coming to Untether.tv in the next 4 weeks. Massive changes, colossal changes, which usually means not much.
Can't wait.
Yeah. All right, what do you say we jump into these stories, these top 5 stories? Then we'll jump into our guest of the week, which happened to be you and I, which a little bit of explanation for that maybe for you guys is that Asif was a guest speaker at Untethered Talks about a month ago. This is a clip from a panel that we did, that I moderated with Asif, Dave Fleet from Edelman, and John McCauley from Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment. It's a great clip. It's about 4 minutes long. So that's our guest. We've got our funding and our M&A news. And, of course, we've got a resource of the week in which everybody wants to track their spouse. So let's jump into the top 5 stories of the week. So first off, Asif, I asked you this before. Would you ever buy toothpaste from a mobile ad in TV Guide? Because that's what P&G is doing with Crest, pushing people to Walmart, right?
Yeah, I think the short answer is no, probably not. But I think it's interesting. I think if you sell products like toothpaste, if you're P&G and you're selling Crest, or you're pushing Colgate, or you're selling anything like this, you need to try ways to to engage with mobile. Mobile is here. Location-based marketing is here. It's all happening around you. And, whether or not this is going to be the thing that's going to make it all happen, at least they're out there. At least they're trying to use the technology and put the brand, in front of the consumer on a mobile platform. So, as you alluded to, they're using the TV Guide iPhone application. A mobile ad pops up on the phone with the Crest logo. You tap on it, and then it basically expands into a landing page, and then you can click on a button that uses location to find the closest store that carries that product, or you can buy it online directly from the app. So, all right.
Well, I'm with you on this. That companies should be exploring, but this is a big stretch. This is a massive stretch for anybody, and I can't imagine that this will succeed exceptionally well. This is not one of those products that you think, hey, I'm reading the TV Guide. You know what? I really need to get me some Crest toothpaste. I got to get into Walmart right now.
Yeah, no, it's a leap. It's a leap for sure. I think what's interesting for me in this is that obviously Crest toothpaste is sold in a lot of different retail stores, but this particular campaign is connected only to Walmart. Yeah. So I wonder whether who's funding this thing, or what the deal is between Walmart and P&G on this. There's got to be something that Walmart's paying or doing in order to get all the traffic directed to them. You got to believe it. I mean, because there's obviously every pharmacy chain, all the other big box retailers, everybody else also carries Crest. They're not the only ones. So
it's true. So I wonder who paid whom, but this was one of those things that it doesn't fit with the TV Guide. You know what does fit with the TV Guide? DVDs. Netflix, streaming versions of the television shows that are actually being listed in the TV Times, top 5 video rentals, not toothpaste, but good try, P&G. Popcorn, exactly. If Amazon can deliver that overnight or same day delivery for popcorn, I'm in it. I don't know what you think. If you're out there and you're thinking about this, would you buy toothpaste? All you need to do is send us an email, a tweet, or leave a comment below wherever you found this. Is yes or no? Would you buy toothpaste from the TV Guide by happenstance that you just happen to be seeing an ad? It just doesn't suit it, I don't think. So, but good. I like P&G. I think they're pretty aggressive. So
I think it's good that they're trying though.
Yeah.
They got to find ways to get their brands mean, these are products that they're not big ticket items. Obviously, you can buy a tube of toothpaste for under $1.
Yeah, from the gas station that you're probably sitting at right now.
Yeah. So so how do you take a product like that and push it on the mobile platform? Well,
you don't.
I guess this is how you do it.
You don't.
Whether or not it drives actual sales, I don't know. Brand impressions, sure.
Yeah, exactly. I guess it's awareness, and that's what they're doing. Awareness making for Crest toothpaste. All right. So I give it like a good effort, but meh. All right. Second story, maybe a little bit more around coupons.com launching this thing called Brandcaster Retail. What the what?
Yeah, so basically, what they're saying is couponing is hot. We know that. We've seen all sorts of coupon platforms out there. We've talked about several of them on the show. Apparently, in their press release around this, they're quoting a number that says 55.7 million American consumers use online coupons each year. That's a big number. And so what they're saying is if you're a retailer, the creation of those coupons is a challenge, and especially, how do you go about creating coupons that apply only to products that you actually sell? So if you don't carry Crest and there's a Crest coupon, well, what good is that to you? As a retailer to kind of, decide what you're going to make available or not available. And so they created this platform that it's free, so there's no revenue model. Don't like that. Self-service platform, and basically you can go in through a digital coupon gallery that they have, basically pick all the coupons you want and then publish that to your website.
This sounds a lot like flyers, doesn't it? Like
yeah,
just digital flyers?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Except it's just taking coupons.com's
business model
catalog of stuff, so to speak, and allowing or enabling a retailer to, basically pick what they want from it and then republish it.
Yeah. Brandcaster. The interesting statistic that I saw.
Call it a digital asset management platform.
Digital asset management platform? DAMP.
Yes.
DAMP. That's a good acronym. DAMP.
DAMP.
Oh, man. Yeah. Who thought of that? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
What was interesting about this was the number that they came out here, which was 89% of all coupons were distributed in freestanding insert coupon booklets, so print. There is a serious, they say the digital coupons were what, 1%? Or something to that extent. 1% of the 1% of all coupons distributed were digital. 1% in 2011. Like, that's so small. The digital world is still small. It's pretty staggering.
Coupons.
Yeah, coupons. We've already spent too much time. We've already discounted our show by 30% just speaking about coupons. Come on, that was funny. Give me a laugh.
Yeah,
give me a little bit of a laugh. Come on. Come on! You're not that tired. Holy cow. All right, we're going to jump into our third story here. This is a company called Moasis. And I got a video here. We're just going to roll. We're going to roll right into here. We're going to roll the video, and we're going to see this because it is. Well, let's just play the video. You will see for yourself what this is. Here it is. The video from Moasis. A little bit of an introduction from Moasis. Here we are.
Reaching local customers should be simple. Just go online, find your exact audience, and target them with relevant videos, banners, and other content. It should be that simple. Just be there. But right now, reaching people on the go depends too much on other things. Most companies do only part of the job, and you're forced to work with reps, paying a premium to get your message into channels that aren't as local as you'd like. It's stressful. What you really need is an affordable, real-time, self-service solution that gives you the flexibility to reach out and be with your audience right here, right now. Moasis is that solution. We make it simple to be there. You just upload your content to a world-spanning geocentric grid, and powerful, easy-to-implement tools help you find your ideal audience wherever they are. Then simply bid for real-time message placement on all sorts of devices beyond just smartphones and tablets. Moasis gives you flexible and cost-effective message placement in 3 simple do-it-yourself steps. With our geocentric approach, we take the hype out of hyperlocal. So relax. The world is truly yours for your business to reach. Moasis is your mobile oasis, a refuge from what's not working in mobile marketing. Your business can now be wherever you want it to be, from a park bench to a bus route to this week's football game. Now you can simply be there. Sign up now and be free to place your message anywhere at a price you name, risk-free. Moasis. Simply be there.
Asif, tell me what this company does, please, man. What is a world-spanning geocentral grid?
It's a lot of big words.
Oh my God!
But basically, what they're saying is that
please tell me.
There's a lot of great geo-targeting platforms out there, but most of them don't approach geo-targeting from the perspective of an advertiser. And advertisers, when you talk to an advertiser or a brand that does advertising, basically they have a method that they go about doing these things. They're going after a certain demographic, they're going after a certain geographic region, they're going after a certain time of day, they're going after all these different variables. And a lot of the targeting platforms that we have today don't necessarily break it down into those boxes as clearly and easily as an advertiser wants. And I think that's what they're trying to do here is they've set up this thing called a GeoGrid. They've basically allowed you to kind of look at a segmentation exercise as a grid exercise, and then build a campaign in a few minutes, from that perspective. And so, whether or not this becomes the way that all geo-targeting tools sort of adapt to, probably not, but I think it's a valid attempt to kind of fit with the way that advertisers think.
No arguments, man. But when I look at this, it's like you just use some language. My business is not going to be sitting on a park bench, right? Don't make it so dumb that people walk away from something like this because you try to oversimplify something like this. Just tell me what you do. Just please tell me what you do. And I think that maybe they should hire you as the spokesperson for this because I didn't get it. But bringing location to life doesn't mean anything to me. Little trademark.
Yeah, no, it could be a lot clearer in saying what it actually does and trying to explain to people the value of this. And I think if you're building apps out there that do geo-targeting, spending some time to understand the methodology behind this, because at the end of the day, what I see here is not so much a great product offering. What I see here is great thinking around how to actually enable geo-targeted advertising. And by the way, their vision around this, as I started read-through this, is not just mobile advertising. It's all location based. So right in line with the LMA's view of the world. So digital signage, transit ads, billboards, all that kind of stuff. All the way you target advertising in each of those different media, the same kind of thinking can be applied. So there you go.
Moasis Global, that's Moasis Global.com. Take a look at them and love your feedback on this. Is this a service that you guys can use? I kind of like it. It reminds me of Google AdWords or AdSense, where you can bid on you're bidding on locations and you pay what you want to pay, where you want to pay, when you want to pay. And what I love about this whole piece of technology is the fact that if you were going to run a lunch special on the street corner somewhere over here, in your city at your restaurant, you can drive local traffic to that. Just pick your perimeter, pick your price, pick your time of day, and bid on that. And it's but it's still just show me an example. Don't try to overwhelm me with world-spanning geocentral grid. I don't know what the heck that means. All right.
Yeah.
Moasis Global.
That's a lot of big words.
Yeah, it is. MoasisGlobal.com, everybody. Moasis Global. Moasis Global. From the obscure to the huge. This is a big statement. This is a big statement from JCPenny. JCPenny. I don't know if the CEO is just talking off the cuff, but he mentioned RFID 3,700 times in this press release that I read. But he says that 100% of cash registers will be gone, pretty much, by 2013. Mobile checkout will be there for JCPenney stores. Cash registers gone the way of the dodo, which I believe will be happening very, very quickly. I think the cash registers will be extinct. But what's the gist of this story? Was he a little into the sauce there?
No, I don't think so at all. I think this is a real initiative by by JCPenney to move forward and embrace mobile checkout technology and mobile in general. I think JCPenney's all over this. I like this a lot. I think this is, it's only by big retailers making moves like this are we going to see faster adoption of mobile by the consumer, better recognition of it by the consumer and acceptance of this, and ultimately driving mobile payments, on the other side. So I like this. This is strictly checkout, not necessarily payment. So this is a replacement of the cash register, as you said, which is cool because if you think about it as a shopper at a JCPenney store, what we're talking about here is, you no longer have to go searching around in the department store, to find out where the customer service desk is that you can go up and pay. Basically, you can go up and just pay anywhere that you can find one of these mobile devices, or an individual walking around with them. So it can be anywhere, which is kind of cool. I really like that. I think it's a great move. Whether they're 100% compliant by next year, big target. But he sounds like he's committed to doing it.
Yeah,
and I hope they do.
Ron Johnson, CEO of JCPenney, says, and I quote, "We'll have mobile checkout, rolling out now and in the fall." Very casual guy, but he talked about RFID as the way that they're going to do it. So everybody's talking about NFC and everybody's talking about other kind of checkout technologies and payment technologies. He's talking about RFID, which is, makes sense. Big retailers have had adopted RFID as an inventory management tool. And so why wouldn't they use RFID to be able to just basically drop down the clothes or whatever you're buying from JCPenney on a scanner and by proximity know what you've bought and worry about the prices and then discounts that way?
Yeah.
Good old RFID.
I think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think RFID is far from dead. I think this is great validation of that, and NFC is going to take a while.
Well, NFC
devices aren't there yet.
Absolutely, and NFC from a payment standpoint, I don't think that it would take JCPenney that far or that long to migrate from this cash registerless store into a payment solution as well, right? So, no. But they've also got these in-store kiosks. So I'm going to assume that they're like the grocery stores we're seeing right now, the self-checkout grocery stores, and it would be interesting to see how this rolls out. I believe firmly. Did an interview maybe over a year ago on Untether where we talked about the death of the cash register, and I firmly believe that that's what we're about to happen. It's about to disappear, and thankfully. And then what happens with that when the cash register, the psychology of shopping, we are led down a path to the cash register where we've got impulse buys on the left and the right, in front of us, behind us, all around us, impulse buys. And retail is built on the cash register as the focal point for those buys. What happens when you take that out? It changes retail forever. And I can't wait to see the repercussions from that. This is an industry in turmoil. So way to go, JCPenney. Ron Johnson, RJ.
There you go.
Good buddy.
Go JCPenney.
Go JCPenney. And I love what he did. He called it the penny. It's not like JCPenney anymore. It's like penny. Yeah, at Penny. I like it. We dropped the JC. We're casual here. Ron Johnson.
Just Penny.
Ron Johnson. Tough name if you were growing up in the 80s, right? Don Johnson, Ron Johnson. Tough name. Tough name. He probably rolled up his sleeves, Yes. We'll have a little bit of Phil Collins singing in the background. Last story, if you believe it. I think Asif is squirming to get out of here. I love it. All right, so this is not a company. This is not available right now, but it just shows you the power. As we flip over from RFID into NFC, and this company Razorfish. And is this Razorfish?
This is Razorfish, the agent. Yeah,
this is the agency. Okay, so Razorfish.
Development shop.
I like that. I mean, I like that they're thinking about this, turning vending machines into NFC-enabled app distribution centers. Cool.
I think it's very cool. Do you have the video for this one, Rob, or not?
I do. Oh yeah. Good call. I do have a video for this one. I think somebody's paying attention today, as I struggle to make sure that I've got it here. Sing us a song, Asif. Like something like the piano.
You don't want me doing that.
Here it is. We stalled just long enough. Here it is.
I'm no Bruce Springsteen.
I hear you.
Maybe Neil Diamond. Little Sweet Caroline.
But there is no video, there's no audio for this. So if you are watching this, if you're listening, this won't make any sense. But the pictures are visually stunning. Razorfish doing something pretty cool, if you ask me. So they've turned this vending machine, this gumball machine, into an NFC-enabled app vending machine. How cool is that?
I think it's awesome. I think this is, you know, as they describe it, this is all about, you know, if you're growing up when Rob and I did, you know, as kids, you know, you'd see these gumball machines, and you'd be begging your parents as you go through the grocery store or wherever you saw it, you know, for the dime or the quarter, you know, to you know, stick in there so you can get a gumball or a bouncy ball or a, you know, army man or, you know, whatever it was. But you know, I think as they rightly say, you know, that's not very interesting to a kid today, in today's world with all the technology that we have. And so, you know, how can we reinvent the gumball machine? Well, this is what it is. They're basically saying, you know, this sort of serendipitous discovery of, you know, just getting a piece of content or getting an app or getting something digital delivered to your device, and you don't know what's coming. It's unexpected. You know, it's like the secret thing in the package in the gumball machine, and you don't know what color you're going to get, or you don't know what's going to be in the little plastic egg that drops out or whatever.
It could be anything. It could be an app. It could be an ebook. It could be a discount or a coupon or something like that.
It could be a piece of music. Yeah, yeah. It could be anything. So I like it. It's really cool.
Well, you know, this is along the line of what Coca-Cola is doing. This is why I love Coca-Cola as a forward-thinking technology company, because they have millions of these vending machines across the globe. They're globe spanning, right? You see them everywhere. Yeah. Coke machines, and Pepsi has them as well. But Pepsi's not, I don't think, as forward thinking as Coke. But now they've been looking at ways that they can enable those vending machines to actually sell apps or sell other goods, because they've got the infrastructure just through NFC or through RFID or through PayPal or whatever it is. But that's why I love what these guys are doing. Razorfish is pushing it a little bit, but there's no reason to think that digital distribution of goods like this isn't going to happen at these vending machines.
No, I love it.
Yeah. All right. Those are the 5 stories. Would you buy toothpaste? At the end of all this, would you buy toothpaste from an ad on TV Guide's iPhone app? I don't know. But we had that. We had coupons.com launching the Brandcaster Retail. We had the Moasis with their GeoGrid. We had JCPenny saying that Ron Johnson saying that we are going to be mobile checkout by 2013. No more cash registers. And of course, Razorfish doing something with the vending machines app distribution and NFC. Those are the top 5 stories. What do you think? Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Untethered@gmail.com or Asif at the LBMA. If you have a story for us, please submit it to us via email, Twitter, or any other means you can. Mail, I accept mail, snail mail. But reach out. We'd love to hear from you. True?
Yeah, absolutely. We do appreciate all the comments that we have been getting from everybody. There's been a lot of great comments lately. And suggestions of stories and content to cover. So thank you for all of that. Yeah, and also thanks to our sponsor, AdCentricity. We haven't even said that yet today. So yes,
we have not. AdCentricity, please, please, please. At the beginning, at the end of the show, what you should be doing is heading to AdCentricity in order to be able to support them. Listen, they came on. They took a leap of faith to come on and sponsor this show. And sometimes it's a greater leap of faith than normal, especially when we're both a little bit tired, right? But they came on, fearless as they may be, so go and support them. Go to adcentricity.com. Please support them. And in so doing, you support us. So that means that the show can continue. 88 episodes, man.
I know.
All right, we're going to jump right into the special guest. It's a little awkward because we're going to be talking about ourselves and how great we were in this panel. The questions were so deep, and the answers were so righteous. And however, this particular clip is about 4 minutes. It is you, Asif Khan of the LBMA, Dave Fleet of Edelman, which is a big agency in Toronto, John McCauley, who runs the mobile and digital side of Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment. They are the owners of pretty much every sports franchise in Toronto, right? The Maple Leafs. They don't own the Blue Jays, do they?
No. That would be Rogers.
Yeah, they own the other guys, yeah. But they own Toronto FC, the soccer club. And this is a really interesting piece because this is from UNTETHER.talks. It is, I asked the question around location-based marketing for new customer development or maintaining existing customers and deepening that relationship. And this is what everybody had to say, and it's amazing, especially when John talks about customer service and augmenting customer service through location-based marketing inside of the arena. So here is Asif, Dave, John, moderated by yours truly, me, over here. Very little of me, a lot of those guys. Here it is. I think there's probably two camps in this. One is about traditional marketing, which is growing your audience. And then there's a second side to that, which is maintaining your audience, right? So people market to grow, and then they market also to maintain, to be visible to the existing audience. Where does this fit? Can you grow your audience? Or are there strategies there? Or are you really for Maple Leaf Sports, you're trying to keep your audience, right?
Yeah.
11 years without a playoff run, Go Sens!
Grow's a better word. Yes. But even just little things like for our Toronto FC soccer club, we did we've been working with Foursquare. Foursquare is a deal with the MLS. We've been working with them, and we've been testing out a few things based on check-ins down at BMO Field. And very rudimentary things, first 20 people discount that. But one of the ones that actually really hit for us was when those first 20 people were able to come in and be part of the opening ceremonies of the game. And that's what triggered with us. It should have triggered with us sooner, but experiential stuff that you can provide to those valuable people that are doing that thing, that's the thing that's going to do it. And then to build on what Asif was saying, beyond that, what folks like me have to do a much better job of is telling the story of how we're telling the story. I know we did a little video after the fact, but we need to do little videos after all of our experiments so that we can start to show people that we are in these places. Foursquare or whichever other one we're using isn't going to get any bigger if nobody's telling people that the brands are actually there and the value proposition is high if you come in and engage with us.
Yeah, and maybe just to pick up on what John's saying too, I think one of the really interesting things about location data is this ability in a live event scenario like a game, whether it's soccer or hockey or basketball, is this ability to actually know who's there. Right? When you think about the Maple Leafs, for example, you've got all these seasons ticket holders. Those tickets are bought and sold and passed around 5 times before somebody actually shows up in the arena, and you don't actually know who's sitting there. But if people are checking in, if they're sharing location data, now you have this ability, this visibility into who's actually at the game right now. I can identify these people, I can have a conversation with them, I can engage with them. And whether they're actually at the game or they're in a bar in Toronto watching the game, but they've identified themselves as a Leafs fan, or they're in the middle of the Yukon watching it on a television in a sports bar there and also saying I'm watching the Leaf game. It gives you this ability to kind of look at your fan base across a nation purely by people self-identifying in that context.
And something we've talked about a lot is location-based customer service.
Yeah.
If we're not in those spaces, if we're not actively monitoring Twitter, how can we help that guy out that beer spill in aisle 5 style stuff? And that's about building as much a relationship as me sending them a piece of content too. We want to build that relationship, and how you use any of these tentacles that you throw out to your audience is up to you. But really, when it comes right down to it, you're trying to get them closer and you're trying to build a better relationship with them. people that are doing that will be more successful in those spaces.
What'd I tell you? And that's just a sampling. This panel was 40 minutes of that kind of insight and information. And if you saw the clip up on Untether.tv of Asif and I sitting down and doing an interview, there's also a whole bunch of other content that's going to be coming out. Unfortunately, it's not going to be free. But you know what? Putting on a conference costs a lot of stinking money. I wish somebody told me that prior to doing it. What were your last thoughts on that, Asif?
That was a great panel, helped by fantastic moderation. But yeah, no. What I was going to say is, just to pick up on sort of John's comments there from the clip, they've been very active in this, and during the panel he alluded to some work that they were doing with the MLS Toronto FC football club. And Foursquare, and we actually, because MLS is a member of the LBMA, we've been working with them, and in about a couple of weeks from now, just a bit of teaser here, we're actually going to release a case study with them on what they did with Foursquare, sort of engage fans going to TFC games.
Wicked.
So that'll be something to look forward to in a few weeks, and I'll let you know when it's actually up.
That's awesome. I like that. All of these guys coming together like this, and but that panel was probably one of the best. That and the education panel from UNTETHER.talks. I was very excited about putting those together. So if you're interested about that, head to Untether.tv this week. You should be able to gain access to little bits and pieces of that for free, and if you so choose, which I appreciate if you would, take a look at buying the whole package. So that was it. Special guest Asif Khan and Rob Woodbridge in our own show, hosted by Asif Khan and Rob Woodbridge. Well, all right, let's jump into our funding and M&A stuff. It isn't about us, all right? This has nothing to do with us because none of us are being bought and none of us are getting funded. So this is perfect for us. We can't talk about ourselves. Talk about this company. Hey, have you ever heard of this company? Oh, they used to have these little, first they had these little cassette things that they used to put into the VCRs, and then they had these DVDs that you put into the DVD player, and they rented them for $5 a day, and there were new releases, and there was a guarantee that if it was out, you get a rain check, and people used to line up all day and all night, and there was late charges, and you had to get in your car and drive and drop stuff off, and there was a mail slot. This company was called Blockbuster. They're still around?
The library. Oh, sorry.
A library. I love it.
Yeah.
Remember those guys?
Yeah, no,
they're still here.
A company called Blockbuster.
They bought a company.
No longer in Canada, still alive in the United States of America. I was just there for the last couple of weeks, and I saw
actual
Blockbuster live and in person.
Wow.
Didn't go in, mind you, but yeah, they're still around. I guess they think mobile.
That's like telling me that Ponderosa is still around.
What's that?
That's like telling me that Ponderosa is still around.
I went to Ponderosa while I was there.
Come on.
I had to do it. I hadn't seen a Ponderosa for 30 years.
Oh my goodness. And Blockbuster Ponderosa?
What's that?
Blockbuster and Ponderosa?
I know. I did it just for old time's sake,
my goodness.
just to see what it was like. And yeah, anyways.
So I took you right off.
Blockbuster, yeah. Apparently they believe that mobile is important as well. So much so that they went out and bought a mobile payments company called Alphabay. So this is a point of sale loyalty platform. Don't know a lot about it. I haven't come across Alphabay before, but anyhow, so they've acquired these guys, and they're going to be using them to do sort of targeted messaging in real time, either on a receipt when you're in store or via email through this platform that they've acquired. So,
well, yeah, I don't even know what to say to that. I just threw up Alphabay's website. If you want any information, just go to alphabay.com. I'm just shocked that A, Blockbuster is still around, and B, they have enough money to make acquisitions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Blockbuster and Ponderosa. They should combine and like steaks and movies.
Oh dear.
Oh boy, we're way off here. Story number 2. TaskRabbit, everybody's favorite I'm too lazy to pick up my dry cleaning service, raised $13 million to make us even lazier. Right?
Yeah. We've talked about this whole category numerous times. Zaralee's, TaskRabbits. There's a bunch of these companies. This is one of the better funded ones. So they're getting another $13 million. This is Series C, led by Shasta Ventures and Lightspeed Venture Partners. And along with this, they're also getting a new board member. They're getting a former eBay VP, a guy named Rob Chesney. So this is a guy with some serious pedigree. Anyhow, more fuel in the tank. We'll see what they can do with it. This is, I think, $38 million now in total to date that they've raised.
I joke at the beginning of this with TaskRabbit about being lazy, and there's always that contention around, is it making us lazy or is it just making us more efficient? And I believe that what these guys are doing, TaskRabbit and the like, what they will be doing, they're going to revolutionize the way that people work, and it's going to change the way that people work going forward. The underemployed, right, the unemployed in North America are staggering. Numbers are high, especially among youth. And I think that these services are incredible. So don't take my slight at the beginning, but there was a great comment in the comment section on GigHome talking about, hey, listen, is America just getting lazier? And is this facilitating that? Like, oh man, I need somebody to pick up my Big Mac. TaskRabbit, it's worth it. But you know what? It's an evolution of a service. If somebody's willing to pay me to do stuff, I will do stuff for you. So TaskRabbit raises $13 million. Now, in the biggest news, I think, of the week, I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but we saved it for last. This company's called Square, raising $200 million on a $3.5 billion valuation. Wait. And they were angry with that valuation at $3.5 billion. And in fact, there were people who were willing to invest at $4 billion, but they took this money instead. $3.5 billion for a company that probably generates about 0 to 100. I don't even know what they do. If they're doing $6 billion in transactions, they're taking 2.75% per transaction. And then what are they doing with that? They're turning that into about $116 million, and most of that is going to the credit card company. So this is a very small company when it comes to revenue, but with big plans and big dreams. They raised $200 million at a $3.5 million.
No, for sure. I mean, we know this is a hot space. Yeah. Everybody's trying to get into this space. Square is the name that everybody
North American leader
to compare themselves to. So, I get it from that perspective. It has big optics. Obviously investors like it because the potential is huge in terms of market size. So this is, I mean, New York Times is the one that's reporting this. It's not, I don't think it's officially confirmed yet, but it seems like it's there. Yeah. So it's $200 million at a $3.25 billion valuation. This brings the total. It says here that they've raised now $350 million.
Oh my God!
Yeah, $350 million that they've raised so far. They're processing $6 billion in annualized transactions. We don't know what the actual revenue is off of that that they actually get to keep. What doesn't go to the credit card companies. But it's interesting because if they're doing $6 billion, the comparison that gets brought up is PayPal, and PayPal is doing $10 billion.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a significant number to be doing $6 billion in transactions in the time that they've been around compared to PayPal at this point. And when you look specifically at the dongle-based device market, so Square is a dongle that you plug into your iPhone or iPad or whatever device you have through the headphone jack and then swipe a card through it. PayPal launched their own version of that called Here. I guess about 6-7 months ago now, Rob?
Yeah, it's been about that long.
Yeah, something like that. And the traction on that has been a lot slower than Square. So apparently they've got Square that is somewhere around just under 2 million merchants using their system versus 300,000 using the PayPal one.
So, but 300,000 are using the PayPal one, but they're driving $10 billion in mobile transactions. But that's just PayPal as a company as well. That's including this piece.
Yeah. No, I know.
Well, Square enables, like they're talking about 2 million people, 2 million companies, obviously, but it enables so many people, like the basically unbanked when it comes to business and processing, credit card processing, and I love that. And they have this They have the Square Register, which has 59,000 something like that users. As I try to remember this frantically, looking for this number, 75,000 vendors.
The Square Register.
Yeah. So there's 75,000 vendors that are using the Square Register, which I think is a the New York Times article says so very clearly that, listen, they have to get out of this whole transaction space because it's not a lucrative base. I mean, it's a good base to start with, but they have to get into the value-added services, which I think this does it. And they alluded to advertising and driving coupons, but I think that, man, they got to elevate beyond that. But they certainly have an install base, and what they're doing for the small and medium-sized merchant is incredible. But they are North American, they are U.S. based, and there is so much going on all around this. I keep pulling it up if I have it here, and of course I do, which is the Moasis one, paid.
No, I know, and we talk about it all the time. Yeah, and I think if they're going to do something with this $200 million, it better be to move into some other markets.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of other players in other markets, and they're losing that sort of first mover advantage, I think, that they could have. I mean, I'm all ready to use the thing up here in Canada, and we can't, obviously. So
yeah, I'd love to take credit cards.
I've used it numerous times when in the U.S. as a customer. With merchants. I've done it in a taxi cab. I've done it in a few places. So it's I like it. I think it's great.
The real question, though, that I would ask, and anybody out there, please chime in if you can, is that the New York Times brings up a really good point here when they talk about the fact that, listen, there is no pain to switch. Right? So you can go from Square to PayPal to paid, if you want to, by Moasis up here in Canada, without a second thought. I mean, they're sending the equipment. There's no financial commitment to the equipment. All you're doing is paying 2.75% per swipe, and that number is not going to go up. It's just going to steadily go down as competition increases, and until a monopoly comes in and owns it, and then they can dictate it. But until that happens, that margin is going to be eroded very quickly. Competition is fierce with Google and the credit card companies getting into this, and everybody getting into this. So you're really basically doing this on price. So how do you keep people there? How do you got to create a barrier to switching, and that's where I think this register, the Square Register, plays into it. But they need more than 75,000 customers in there to be able to do that. So I'd love to hear anybody out there who has a theory on how these guys are going to do it. I like Square, I like the service, and I love the fact that they've opened it up, and I really like that they paved the way for other companies to innovate. But I fear for the leaders. The first in always gets a lot of money, like Ballard Fuel Cells, $1 billion, and then there's nothing left at the end of it because they were first mover and everybody else took advantage of that. So, but they raised $200 million at a $3.5 billion valuation, and by my estimate, these guys, their revenue $15 million a year. So I ask you, is that $15 million a year in revenue worth a $3.5 billion valuation? Just because they're doing $6 billion in transactions doesn't make it a valuable company, right? I do a lot of transactions, and I'm not a valuable guy, right? So what's in, it's just a matter of how much stays in. So do the math on that. 2.75% of $6 billion, and then most of that goes to the credit card companies for their fees, their transaction fees as well. So are they making more than $15 or $16 million a year? I don't know. Anyways, very valuable service. Square, $200 million. Those are the 3 funding M&A activity stories that we've got here. If yours is not in there, it's your fault. Reach out, untether@gmail.com or Asif at the LBMA. Let us know. We'll take any size funding. We want to hear from the small companies, please. Please, 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 please. Those are the 3 stories. Blockbuster acquiring Alphabet, TaskRabbit raising $13 million, and Square $200 million. Huge. One last impediment between you and your bed, Asif Khan. Our resource of the week. Turns out that we do want to track our spouses.
Apparently. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about a bunch of these sort of family tracking services, in the past, and this is the first sort of data that I've seen on this. So this comes from a group called GFI Software out of Florida, and they surveyed 1,000 people in the U.S., and they say that 12% of folks say they would use location tracking to monitor their spouse's whereabouts. 31% say they would track where their teen goes on a Friday night. And more than half, almost 60%, say they would use such a service to make sure their children were safe or in the location that they're supposed to be. So all of this, I think, makes sense. I think this is all, just human nature being human nature, and leveraging the technology that's available today. And I think this makes sense. I think if I have, teenagers, I certainly would do this. I have lots of friends that I've talked to who do have teenagers and leverage this exact technology in this way. So, I don't have a hard time believing the data on this one.
I'd like to ask the question, a follow-up question is like, how many of those 12% or those 31% would actually tell them that they're tracking them? That's the difference here, right?
I think that,
I would love to track them. I would love to track them, but will I tell them? That's a different story, right? That's a different story. So, I like that. 12% is not a lot. So, I have faith in humanity when I hear, if that was like 80%, I would be worried.
Yeah.
And if you are one of those 12%.
I think as far as children and especially the teen piece, I totally get it. Yeah. Like I said, I have lots of friends who actually do this.
Yeah.
The deal with their kids is like, to their teens, is you want a phone and you want me to pay for it or whatever the case might be as a parent. Sure, here it is, but the rule is this feature must be turned on, and so I know where you are all the time.
I agree with that, but it's funny because for the most part, you can track your teens, you can track anybody without actually having a tracker or GPS installed, right?
Yeah.
We are living in this kind of open social graph where everything that anybody does is either pushed through with a location stamp on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. It's pretty crazy. I mean, you can really there's no such thing as privacy, and you don't need a GPS app to be able to really track somebody.
No, you don't. I mean, but it's a lot easier if you do.
It is.
Put it that way.
You don't have to do any sleuthing. You don't have to you don't have to do any investigating. Well, I think this is great. So this is you can find this at darkreading.com. I would just do a search for GFI and what would we say, tracking spouses, GFI tracking spouses, and it's from darkreading.com. Of course, Dark Reading, great name. I love that domain name, darkreading.com. And of course, there will be a link on UNTETHER.tv when you have this story. And that's it. That's our resource. Before we go, I just want to draw your attention to a few things, you, the fine watcher, listener, viewer, follower, the folks that we appreciate. Two things. One of them is hit up, please go and hit up our sponsor. We really appreciate the fact that these guys sponsor us. So go to adcentricity.com. Please just do it. Just do it right now. As I said last time, we will wait as you go www.adcentricity.com. We really appreciate them being on board here as a sponsor. And we love them for it. So please give them some love as well. Second thing is subscribe. iTunes, please. We've got this great feed at iTunes. These shows show up a little bit earlier on iTunes than they do on any of the websites. And so just please go to iTunes and in iTunes, look for This Week in Location-Based Marketing. And while you're there, give us a 5-star rating because we really appreciate you guys doing that for us. And if it's not going to be a 5-star, reach out and tell us why before you give us a 1-star and start complaining about stuff because we can fix things. We can. We have the power to do that. I said two things, but I'm going to say a third thing. New feature on UNTETHER.tv. If you go to the podcast and starting last week, episode number 87, you can actually click through to the stories. You don't have to listen to the whole thing. If you want to go back for a reference point, you can actually go back and click on a story and get to that story right in the video or the audio. Just go to UNTETHER.tv. We're going to try to figure out how to get that hooked up at thelbma.com. But until we do, you can do that at UNTETHER.tv. Just thought that those are 3 important announcements. Asif? Don't you?
Yeah. No, I think that's great. I think, a nice little, makes it easier for people to jump to the content that they want to get to, and it's great. So that's it for me. Just want to thank our sponsor again. Really appreciate AdCentricity getting behind this and making it happen. So thanks to them. And that's it. That's all I got. Good.
That's it for episode number 88. Go Canada at the Olympics. Go whatever country you are listening to from at the Olympics. It's the greatest time. I love these. These are the best days just to sit on the couch and watch what's going on. And you become a ridiculous sport fan. Like tandem, or we won our bronze medal in synchronized diving. And it's the only day of the year that I will watch synchronized diving with absolute pride.
Yeah.
So I got to get back to the gymnastics. Men's mixed is on right now. So until next week, when we will bring you episode number 89 of This Week in Location-Based Marketing. Thank you all for watching. We really appreciate it. We'll see you next week.
All right. Cheers.